planned to get me pregnant. Like, he planned to get me pregnant, knowing I didn't want a third child because I was already like, it was not hard, but it was going to be hard if I had another kid. Like, I knew I wouldn't be able to afford having 3 kids. And guess what? I had a third kid.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and thank you to all of my subscribers thus far who have been supporting me. I can't even begin to express the way this video irked my soul. Listening to her made my blood boil. It was like nails to a chalkboard. If you don't follow Dose of Pink on TikTok, please do. She's amazing with her commentary. This is a stitch that I got from her, and I wanted to add my 2 cents in. For those of you who have been following me for a while, I'm pretty sure you guys know what my stance will be on this video. But for those of you who don't, stay tuned for my commentary. I'm going to play this video, and then I'll be back.
I asked her dad, like, oh, can you help me? Like, can you help me? Y'all, keep in mind, this nigga wanted the baby. Like, keep in mind, this nigga had my ovulation tracking his phone. Keep in mind, this nigga planned to get me pregnant. Like, he planned to get me pregnant, knowing I didn't want a third child because I was already like, it was not hard, but it was going to be hard if I had another kid. Like, I knew I wouldn't be able to afford having 3 kids. And guess what? I had a third kid. Okay, y'all gonna be like, oh, you should use protection, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all.
So you can't pay your rent. You're making $20. You already have 2 kids. He doesn't have a job, so he's a bum. So you let a bum track your ovulation and get you pregnant, knowing that you can't afford the 2 kids you already have, all because he said he wanted the baby? The whole he wanted the baby line is tired. Who cares if he said he wanted the baby? You know you're living in poverty. You know you couldn't afford it. They're always acting as if they have no say, no power, and no autonomy over their own bodies. Acting as if they have no choice but to give a bum a baby. Y'all do know that y'all have the final say, right? Y'all do know that women decide which men get to have children and who don't, right? Some of the comments under this video are insane. They're talking about, oh, y'all don't know what it's like to have a man beg you to keep his baby. Y'all don't understand. What kind of world have we come to that all a man has to do to get you to risk your life is beg you to? And it's her saying, he planned to get me pregnant. He wanted the baby. He had my ovulation tracker on his phone. No accountability. She really sat there and let a man plan to ruin her life all because he said he wanted to. He said, let me put you further into poverty and struggle by giving you another child. And she agreed. Y'all, these baby mamas are professional victims. Y'all weren't trapped. Y'all are willing participants. And another line they love to use is, oh, he switched up. Men switch up. Okay, so we all know that by now. So why do y'all keep giving them easy access to your womb? Why aren't y'all protecting your womb? Why aren't y'all requiring X, Y, and Z before y'all even consider having a baby with a man? Why aren't y'all requiring marriage? And before you say, but he can still leave you a single mother even after you get married. A ring doesn't mean anything. If y'all had required a man to prove himself to you, provide for you, marry you, X, Y, and Z before having his kids, the overwhelming majority of y'all would not have kids right now. Y'all would have saved yourselves from becoming a baby mama because the men y'all had kids with would never spend that much time and effort just to get a baby out of you. They'd rather go the easy route of getting you pregnant beforehand and leaving you without any legal commitment. It's like that creator who said you can still get in a car crash even if you wear your seatbelt, but that doesn't mean you don't wear your seatbelt. Y'all just get in the car. You don't wear your seatbelt. And then when you crash and die, y'all say, oh, well, he could have left me a single mother anyways. But you didn't wear your seatbelt though. You just jumped straight to the baby mama part. If you had required him to provide for you, prove himself, marry you, and he wasn't doing those things, would that not tell you, hey, this probably isn't a man that I would want to permanently tie myself to? Because y'all swear there's no signs. You can't tell whether or not a man is going to leave you for dead. Him seeing you struggling with 2 kids, the 2 kids that you already have, and wanting to add a third on top of that with no commitment to you whatsoever, that was the sign.
So she spoke absolute facts in this video. Please follow Dose of Pink on TikTok. I'm actually not sure if she's on YouTube or not, but I agree with every word that she spoke. Now, let me say this. before people get on here and talk about we're victim blaming and we don't have any empathy or sympathy for the mothers in these situations, this is not victim blaming. This is what we call holding women accountable and teaching women how to hold themselves accountable. Okay? At the end of the day, as a woman, you are the one who has the final say-so over who comes on this earth or not. I know a lot of women don't believe in getting ABs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Terminations. I am an advocate for ABs. I always have been, and I'm going to go to my grave being an advocate. There's absolutely nothing anyone can ever say to change my mind about that. I don't know why people go out of their way to waste their time trying to change my mind about that. My mind will never change on that. If someone told me I had to die on that hill, that's the hill I will die on. The woman has the final say. If you want to give a man control of your life, go ahead. This is why women who do that end up in situations just like this woman. And I know she's young. I don't know exactly how old she is. I would say she looks like she's in her early or mid-20s. I'm not really sure. But I can tell she's a young buck, as they call us, right? Or they used to call me. And she doesn't know anything. And this is why she's in the situation she's in. And when women like myself try to hone into you what these men are doing, this is all a game to them. Y'all are in it for love and in it for a partnership, and you think you're going to have a father for your kids and you're going to have a life partner and somebody to be faithful and love you. Men are in it for the game. They've always been in it for the game, and they always will be. The amount of men who are in it for the game is so high. That is why the vast majority of women all around the world are going through the same shit. This is common sense at its finest. This is critical thinking, okay? If all of these women all over the world are complaining about the same things, that means it's the majority of men. Because if it was the minority of men, the vast majority of women in the world would not be complaining about these things. There would not be a majority single mothers complaining about how hard it is to be a single mother and how draining it is and how financially draining it is, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and all of that. There will be very few women complaining. Okay? That's just the common sense. That's all it is. So no one's victim blaming. What we're doing is saying, this is how you hold yourself accountable, ladies. These men have been showing us who they are for a very long time. A lot of women are waking up. A lot of y'all are still asleep. If you're still asleep, this is the situation you're going to find yourself in either now, next month, next year, 2 years from now, 17 years from now, whenever. This will be your boat. These men are playing games. If you want to go through life saying it's not all men, that is your business. You're going to find yourself getting got. If you want to say, oh, it's just those men or it's just these women are picking wrong, your chances of picking wrong are like literally as high as it can possibly be. I don't even have the words or the numbers to describe how high your chances are that you're going to end up in the same boat. Because most men operate in the same way when it comes to how they feel about women. Conquering women, capturing you, conquering you, and taxiderming you if you become a wife. Shout out to Guat Girl, who was a supporter on my YouTube channel sometime last year, or maybe it was the year before. I haven't seen her around much, but shout out to you because she described women, wives in particular, as being captured, conquered, and taxidermed. If you don't know what taxidermed is, just look it up. Okay. I have a podcast with the YV Edit. The YV Edit is here on YouTube and she's also on TikTok. We have a podcast called the Audaci-tea. You can look us up on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcast. And it is spelled AUDACI-TEA. And we talk about these conversations all the time, more in depth, less censored. We pretty much say what we want to say over there. So check out our podcast. But the YV Edit did a few videos describing the conversation that she had with her husband as far as having children. And long story short, they decided that they did not want to have kids. And her husband was saying, I would never force you to have kids or want you to have kids, because if it was the other way around, I wouldn't do it. I would never want to put my body through that. I would want to change my life and have to make all those sacrifices. So I can't expect that from you. And that is why their marriage works. And she's been happily married for 13 years. That's just a very short version of how her and her husband came to that conclusion. YV Eddie, aka Lisa, is incredible. If you don't know who she is, you need to follow her on TikTok and on YouTube. Because she goes into depth about these types of topics. Okay? And I brought that up to say this. Any man who actually gives a fuck about you, he will not pressure you or badger you into having kids, especially once you said, I don't want any more kids. What an upstanding man would do is either say, okay, she don't want kids, I don't want kids either, if he's on the fence about it and he doesn't care one way or the other. Or he will be man enough to say, well, this relationship isn't going to work, because you can't compromise on kids. Somebody's going to lose. Somebody's going to get what they want and the other one isn't. And the person who ends up not getting what they want is going to be resentful towards the person who did. And the relationship is going to end anyway. And then there's going to be a kid or however many kids hanging in the negative ballads of your failure. So that is why I say you can't compromise on that. If you're with someone and you want children and they don't, you're with the wrong person. Vice versa. You're with the wrong person. The very fact that she was saying that this man tracked her ovulation, got her pregnant on purpose, was the red flag she needed. The very fact that he kept pressuring her to have a baby when she already said she didn't, he crossed her boundaries, that was the red flag. A lot of women don't understand where the red flags come in. That alone is a red flag. The man wants to pressure you to have kids for his own agenda. It is not for your best interest. It's so that he can, I don't know, use you, have a backup plan for whenever things don't go well in his future relationships, have a place to live, whatever his agenda is. It is not in your best interest, and it's definitely not going to be in the best interest of that child. That is the red flag. Everything about this young lady's story was a red flag, by the way. Every word out of her mouth. Red flag, red flag, red flag. This man, I can almost literally guess what this dude looks like, the way he talks and everything, because it's so common. Her situation is so common. It's not even funny how textbook this is. Textbook is psychology 101. When you find yourself in a situation with men who are pressuring you, crossing your boundaries, even if it's on the first date, and you're saying, no, you can't come up, or no, I can take myself home, and he's still trying to talk you out of it, that is a red flag. He doesn't respect your boundaries, and he's showing you early on, 9 times out of 10, just by the fact that he's trying to talk you into something or talk you out of it after you already expressed what you want or what you don't want. He's showing you he doesn't care about your boundaries. Those are the types of red flags that I want women to pay attention to. Can men mask for a long time? Absolutely. But 9 times out of 10, if you set firm boundaries and stick to them early on, their mask is going to slip. This is a way that you protect yourself in the very beginning. Most men are not going to stick around for a woman whose code they can't crack, if you want to put it that way. You never give them the blueprint of what you want. When they say, this is what I look for, when they ask you, what are you looking for in a man? You never tell them. You're never supposed to tell them, because all they're going to do is pretend to be that guy until they get whatever it is they want from you, and then their mask is going to slip, or they're just going to disappear altogether. That's why you don't give them the blueprint. Be hard, be stern, be firm as fuck. Stand in your shit, whatever your boundaries are. And typically these men will disappear anyway. And don't look at it like, I'm running all the men off. Maybe I'm being too hard. No, you are protecting yourself. You're dodging bullets. Yes, you are going to come to a realization that you're probably going to be dodging bullets for the rest of your life because it ain't that many good men out there. Yes, but at some point, you're going to have to come to grips with, hey, I may end up by myself, but I am not willing to lower my standards. When women lower their standards, when women let men cross their boundaries, this is the number one way women end up in graves early, way before their time. So let this be a cautionary tale. If you are this woman or have been that woman, your ship has sailed, right? Learn from your mistakes. But for those of you who haven't had this happen to you yet, I am here to tell you that 9 times out of 10, you are going to become a single mother, a married single mother, or a divorced single mother. Make your choice. Choose wisely on what you want to do, because these men are not evolving. But all I'm saying is ladies have to take responsibility for your own actions. If you don't, and if you want to play the blame game, you have every right to do that, but no one's going to care. No one's going to believe you. No one's going to want to hear your nonsense. People are going to just be really pointing and laughing at you these days. That's it. Even other women. So you better look out for your goddamn self. Because people ain't looking out for each other like they used to. Not like they used to. Not in the numbers that we need in order for this to be a successful society and in a safe society. It's never going to be in those numbers. So you have to look out for you. Stop being a victim. Stop letting these men game you, because that's all they're doing. If you're going to have kids, make sure you don't have more kids than you're able to take care of in the event you end up doing it by yourself. Or better yet, don't bring kids into this fucked up ass world anyway. Save yourselves the drama. Seriously. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
All together, girls. 1, 2, 3. Fuck these men on the internet. They don't know what they want, but they will see what they can get. Oh, go and waste your one and only precious life while pretending not to have a full receding hairline. So keep your eyes on his hairline and your hand on your drink. For all you know, he is a psychopath. He'll leave you on red and he won't care if